Welcome, everyone. Oh, okay, there we go. Hi, everyone. My name is Misty Vitrella. I'm a life and business coach for entrepreneurs, and I am here tonight. It is my absolute pleasure to be introducing a friend and colleague of mine. Her name is Megan Atkinson. She
Hello.
just, everyone, there she is. She just wrote a brand new book that actually she just hit the send. I just got a email earlier where she just hit the send button today, and it's loaded up on Amazon. It's called Agent of Impact. It's all about, I mean, we'll talk about it here in a second, but just a brief synopsis. It's all about making an impact with your business, having a mission, and then using that mission to spread your word to the world. And she'll talk about that in just a second. And I will tell you, it is a highly actionable book. It's not one of those just read it alongs. It's got lots of juice in it. Okay, so Megan Atkinson is the agent of impact, and thus her book, of course, an owner behind Ignite Your Cause, a boutique branding shop serving do-gooders, change makers, and ruckus starters of the world. With her arsenal of copywriting, graphic design, and marketing strategy services, Megan helps fierce solopreneurs inspire the masses and influence change. And if you're in the business of making an impact, which so many of us are, Megan is the secret weapon you have been waiting for. And you can learn more about Megan and her mission. Of course, we'll be talking about it here, but beyond tonight, and her mission to make an impact, you can visit igniteyourcause.com or connect with her on Twitter, also at Ignite Your Cause. Okay, so Megan, thank you so much for being here with me tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Good, I'm so glad. So, tell me, what led you to write this, what I believe is an incredibly impactful book? Tell me about it. What led you to it?
Yeah, so back earlier in the year, I had kind of come to a conclusion after bringing home more money from my side hustle, Ignite Your Cause, from my side business, than my day job monthly income for the very first time. When I experienced that, it was a big rush of excitement, right? You know, it was like, holy crap, you know, I can do this. This is for real. Like, I can make this work. And then it faded really, really fast. And when it faded, I had kind of had this feeling of something's not right. Like, something didn't fit. It's like trying on a piece of clothing that you haven't worn in a couple years, and you're like, wait a minute. I remember this being a lot more comfortable when I wore it before, right? It was like that, God, it's not bad, but it's not right sort of feeling. And when I had that, it kind of shook me to my core. I had been invited to blog on Huffington Post, and that was a panic moment. It was a panic moment because here I am, dedicated to making a difference in the world by helping the people that are out there doing good and making change and you know, redefining the status quo. These people who are really looking to make an impact with their businesses, it was my goal, my mission to help them. And when I was looking at this Huffington Post invitation in my email, I was like, okay, what can I write about? Shoot. What can I write about on Huffington Post? Like, this is the best thing. Like, this is the perfect place. They have an impact section on their website. It's perfect for me. This is where I'll be able to get my thought leadership out there. And then it's like, I don't have any. All I've been talking about for the past year has been 3 hot tips to pop your copy, which is valuable information, but it's not thought leadership. It's not inspiring the masses. It's not influencing change. And it kind of caused this existential breakdown of, you know, who is my business? Like, who am I, but as a business owner? And where is my business going? And how have I managed to become at least modestly successful in the past months, you know, being able to out-earn my day job
That's amazing.
How was I able to do
Congratulations,
that?
by the way. Not to interrupt, I'm just saying
Thank you.
that's I mean, that's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, like I was like, how was I able to do that
Right.
when I feel so disconnected from what I originally started my business for? And kind of threw me into a business depression. So I started to write it out. I thought writing was the only way to get through it and help kind of sort through all of the whirling, messy, like really just yucky sort of thoughts that were going on in my head, and it was really confusing, and I wasn't sure where I was headed or where I came from or what happened, how I got to where I was. So I started writing, and at the time I wasn't intending on writing a book, but as I started talking to more people about this experience of kind of realizing, even though you're achieving successes by kind of the standard yardstick of dollars and cents, that it wasn't in line with my mission because I wasn't serving the people that I was meant to serve. I was serving people that were just willing to show up and pay for a really great copywriter.
Right.
And not the do-gooders and the change makers and the ruckus starters of the world that are looking to make an impact. So as I started sharing that story and my experience and kind of the emotional disconnect that I was feeling with my business, other people around me who are also really dedicated to making a difference with their business and making an impact on the communities around them were experiencing the same thing. And that's when I realized this has to be a book. This has to be a book so that it can get into other people's hands who feel the same way and feel lost and not sure how to get back.
Nice. Nice.
That's
How long
really
did it take you, by the way? How long did it take you? I mean, it's such a like silly question. I mean, I don't know if it's a silly question, but I'm just curious. How long did it take you to write?
I think the bulk of the book was really written in like 3 weeks. It's a very short book. It's about, I think, like 50-some pages.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a really short read. It's about maybe 7,000 words, so it's not quite a full paperback. But I think about the bulk of it was written in about 3 weeks. But that was me like journaling,
Right.
essentially. That was me like kind of writing my way through all the confusion and trying to take the thoughts and ideas and feelings and questions and answers that I had and put them into words. I spent about 3 weeks just writing. I didn't do anything else in my business. I didn't work with clients. I don't think I had a single client all summer because I really had to fix that. I said I had to fix that, and it took me a lot longer than hopefully people who read my book because I kind of had to start from scratch. I didn't have a resource to help me find my way through it. And this book is really intended to not only share my personal experience and go on record with some epic failures of mine and the panic and the ugly crying that I went through and existential crisis. Like, it's very dramatic.
Well, I mean, that speaking of, I mean, that you are very vulnerable in it, which is quite beautiful, actually, I think.
Yeah.
What made you decide to be so vulnerable for people?
I feel like I had to. I feel like too many business books just tell you what to do. They kind of keep it on the surface. They say these things have this result, this thing had this result. Don't do this, do that. They keep it really kind of academic. Even if the writing is really great and engaging and funny and, it's a pleasure to read, they still keep the type of content pretty academic in the sense of instruction and teaching. And I don't teach that way. I teach through my personal experience, and I teach through story. Being a writer myself, a copywriter, I teach through story. So I felt like if I didn't share my personal experience and get really vulnerable and tell the readers, like, this is what happened to me. I thought I was on the top of the world, and 4 seconds later I realized I'm not doing what I set out to do, and my business needs to be rebuilt from scratch. I felt like if I didn't share that, it wouldn't be it wouldn't be authentic to my message. And my message is to be mission driven and to be always showing up with something to say. And in that, I didn't want to show up with something to preach. I wanted to show up with something to share. And I wanted people to have something to relate to. A lot of people that I've talked to, they didn't even realize that the experience that they had was this, that their feelings of disconnection and discontent with their business and, feeling like being in business isn't fun anymore and kind of that like drought type of feeling. They didn't even realize that it was because of this, because their business as usual had lost their mission as the focus and what they wanted to accomplish with their business. It had turned into what they wanted to earn.
Right.
And so I think by putting words to that, I could put words to it and I could preach, saying this is what's happening to you and this is how to fix it. Or I could put words to it by sharing my story and letting people know that they're not the only one, and know, what it was that indicated to me. What were my wake-up calls? What were the violent wake-up calls that I experienced? And there's just a level of connection. I think people can connect to story much better than a checklist of things to do and not to do.
I hear you on that. Was that scary for you at all to be? I think sometimes people are a little bit afraid to use, their story, and I think you did it, quite beautifully. So did you have any fear around it? I mean, I know you're a writer, but. Yeah,
no, I would say if there's one thing I didn't expect from this whole journey, from the writing process to turning it into a book and kind of refining what I had written and then publishing, it was that I didn't expect to constantly have to manage my self-doubt and constantly have to manage the fear of making an ass out of myself by, admitting in a very, not just in public, but like to the world, to anybody who can get their hands on this book, admitting to failure. Failure to not achieve what it was I wanted to achieve, and sound like an idiot, to tell you the truth. At first, as I was writing to get through the slump and to make sense of everything, a lot of my ideas were like, am I the only person that this would make sense to? Like, is this a thing? Has somebody already thought of this? Like,
I can tell you from my own experience that your ideas absolutely make sense. And they are very clear. It's not just in your head.
And that, that did become clear as, as I got further in the publishing process, and I shared my early review or early release copy, which you have. And, it really started to resonate and things along those lines. But, I mean, throughout the process, it was incredibly scary. It was like, okay, I'm gonna write this book. I have no idea if what I went through was just me being insane, or if my ideas have weight or validity to them. It was scary, and it was a constant battle managing self-doubt and managing fear, and I wasn't expecting it because I'm generally a pretty confident person when it comes to putting my ideas out there and talking about the things I believe in, and my day-to-day is a pretty confident day-to-day. So when that kind of got turned on its head, it was surprising.
Nice. Well, thank you for being so honest with us. I mean, I think people, again, being vulnerable with us, because people appreciate that. Like there will be a lot of people listening who may be wanting to do what you've done. Because it's a great inspiration. So thank you for sharing that with us as well. So, okay. We talked about that part. Now, what was your favorite part about the book?
Oh, man. So my favorite thing about the book is actually the teeny tiny details in the book that probably mean very little to just an average reader. But the chapter about Gary Vaynerchuk was exciting for me to write.
That was great to read.
Thank you, thank you. I'm obsessed. I'm super obsessed. For anybody watching, Misty knows all too well.
She just sent him a birthday present.
I did. Epically stalker move there, but
No, I think it's a great thing. He's probably gonna love it.
Yeah, so that was a really fun chapter to write. It was probably one of the most validating moments of the writing process, and it came after the journaling. You know, it came after the original bulk of the writing, because I really wanted to share that it's been done, and it's not just been done by itty-bitty business owners like me, solopreneurs. It's been done by people who have achieved success in many people's eyes. I mean, Gary runs a multi-million-dollar company. You know, he serves clients like the National Hockey League and Oprah Winfrey Network and things along those lines. So it was really, really fun for me to be able to include that in there, not just as an homage to Gary, who does it right. He always shows up message first. He's hardly ever selling anything. He always shows up talking about hustle and talking about hard work, and he just brings it so well. And so it was really great to write about someone big who's done it right, who isn't necessarily like a coach or specifically a consultant. His business is a consultancy, but prior to that, his success.
Right, yeah.
Right. Prior to that, his success was in the wine retail business. So, so it was really fun to kind of write it up. And I didn't do it in a very academic way. I didn't do it like a typical case study. You know, I put some references in there, and it's real short, real sweet. But that, I think, was probably the funnest. Was like, my ideas are valid because Gary Vaynerchuk, and
that's awesome.
P.S. He's also my hero. So I mean, it was really enjoyable. It was fun.
It's incredible. I totally agree. So I'm glad. That's awesome. Okay, so we've been talking about like a lot of the meat of this book, but what can people sort of expect to take away after they work through it?
Yeah, so very good question. First and foremost, you will, if you're feeling anything like this, if you're feeling a little disconnected or you're feeling frustrated that you have such a hard time balancing making money and making an impact, and you're not sure where the balance is or how to keep it, or you know what, you're really not sure how to get there or how to get started, you will first walk away knowing that you are not the only one. You will also walk away with a swift kick in the pants to fix it and to get started and act on it, because just sitting in that feeling isn't going to change it. So there's a lot of both inspiration and motivation throughout the book. And then in addition to that, I've included a series of questions in the back of the, or towards the end of the book, not in the back of the book, but towards the end of the book, a series of questions to get you started. To get you started in reconnecting to that mission, really defining what that mission is and why it's important to you, aligning your message, so taking your marketing efforts and looking and saying, okay, am I showing up with more than just something to sell? And if not, where do I need to fix it? It could be sales pages, it could be your about page, it could be your social media, your blog posts. So really kind of taking a deeper look into your marketing efforts and how you can switch from being a marketer to being a messenger. And and then I have all these little like quippy phrases and just fall out of my mouth.
I love that.
So I'm like,
from
I love that.
marketer to a messenger.
Right.
Is that a tweetable? That should be a tweetable. Anybody out there? Go for it.
Yes, tweet it, live tweet it.
Live tweet it.
If you don't, I will afterward. And then from there, really kind of evaluating your day-to-day business practices and determining what has to go and what has to grow in order for you to build a movement around your message and get more people to hear it, get more people to see it, get more people to buy into the value of your ideas and what it is you have to say to the world, and start making more change or doing more good or shaking more shoulders. So it's kind of a three-pronged approach.
Nice. And I can tell you that the questions are really actionable. It's like having Megan right there in the room with you. So, okay, so how much is this book, and from where can we purchase it?
You ask a very good question, dear Misty. First and foremost, the book will be free tomorrow, November 20th.
Ooh, cool. Okay.
20th, 21st, and 22nd. It will be free because I don't care if I make $1. I don't care if I make a dime on this book. I really just want it to make an impact on the lives and businesses of others. So it will be free for 3 days, and then Amazon will. Amazon is where it's for sale. It's an Amazon Kindle. Paperback will be available in 2015.
Ooh, that's cool. I didn't know you were doing a print. That's awesome.
I'm so excited.
So wait, hold on. They can get it on Amazon starting now?
It is up right now. Right now it's listed at $2.99 because I can't make it because the logistics. Amazon doesn't let you like just be free when it first goes up on the page. It has to go up on the page and then you have to schedule your free days.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's there. If you want it for $2.99, go buy it for $2.99. Or if you want to wait and save that $2.99, that hard-earned $2.99 yours for a different book, you can snag it the 20th, 21st, and 22nd for free. And then after that, it'll be back to $2.99. So it's still super affordable. It's really, really cheap. And if you want more information on the book, you can always check out agentofimpact.com if you wanted to go there. That's just my landing page for the book if you're still on the fence about it.
Oh, that's awesome. And, I mean, how can you be on the fence about free?
Right. I mean,
well, if you get you a copy of this book now, go get one.
Right. It's free and it's super short. Super short, like I said earlier. It's a really, really quick read. And also in the book, this is a bonus. In the book, at the back in the resources section, there is a link that'll take you to a page where you can download a printable version of the exercises and the questions in the book. So if you're someone that likes to print things out so you can have some space to write and you can keep it and carry it around with you, things like that, there's a printable version linked to from the resources section in the back of the book.
That's a great idea. I don't know I haven't seen anybody do that. That's cool. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, I figured if it were paperback, it wouldn't be so bad because you could at least write on the page inside the book. But with Kindle, you can't write on your page. So I was like, I'm gonna make a downloadable version of just the questions, and turn it into a workbook. And whoa, technical difficulties. My apologies.
No, we got you. We still heard you, even if you didn't. It's fine.
Even if I couldn't hear anything. Yeah. So I've called it the Mission Revival Guide, and so that's available from the back of the book. So not only do you get a free ebook, you will also get a free, beautifully designed, might I add, PDF workbook.
That is awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
For being here with me today. This is so great. You will see this video other places, I am sure.
Oh, yes. It'll be a Sharapalooza.
It'll be a Sharapalooza. All right, thank you. Again, my name is Misty Petrella. You can check out this video on YouTube under Misty Petrella or Megan Atkinson. You can also check me out at mistypetrella.com. And I guess we'll see you on the flip side. Thank you all for being here today. Thanks, Megan. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.